Yo guys, it's your boy Nate today, and today we're going to be talking about the Haitian dilemma, guys. And so honestly, I know a lot of people are very upset about this, and it's very disgusting, don't get me wrong, but the question comes down to, is this a spiritual issue or is this just a political issue? Now, I kind of want to go ahead and give a different perspective on this than what I've been hearing from a lot of the mainstream media or from other people, because most mainstream outlets aren't talking about it, such as CNN, Fox, and so forth, right? But you do have a lot of these big content creators who are now like these media companies who do talk about it. But I feel like the way that they're angling it may not be the most wisest approach. And here's why I say this, guys, because I do agree that this is a issue that we have to resolve, right? But before I go ahead and give my opinion, I want you guys to comment below, pause this video right now, and tell me, do you guys believe, is this a political or spiritual issue? Comment your opinions below, then watch the rest of the video. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you guys said it's a political issue, you're wrong and you're right. If you said it's a spiritual issue, you're also wrong and you're right. Because it's both a political and a spiritual issue, guys. The political aspect of it, that these illegal immigrants are entering into our nation and doing these horrific things and vile things, this is just the surface level, correct? However, the spiritual aspect to it, guys, that we see is that they're committing like all of these satanic acts. Now, you may be wondering, how is eating a cat or a dog satanic? Well, I'll show you how it's satanic, because I don't know if you guys are aware about this, but they actually use it for Haitian voodoo rituals. So like X person said, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to be censored, but they don't just eat cats for food. They do it because they believe it gives them magical powers. The man in this video is drinking the cat's ketchup. This is getting deleted, so be sure and copy it, repost it, and share it. Don't forget the corporate media and Dems tell you this practice is a fantasy. Now, again, I don't think this is just a political issue. I think it's both political and spiritual. But again, you guys have to realize that whatever happens in the political world is just an outward or physical manifestation of what's going on in the spiritual realm, guys. And so whenever we see like our country going downhill because we're ran by a bunch of satanic elitists, that is first a spiritual issue, then it manifests into a physical issue, such as illegal immigrations, such as inflation into our country, such as owning nothing and being happy, such as all of these satanic agendas, such as the LGBT mafia, right? All of the things that we're basically seeing in our world today is a result of spiritual evils, dark principalities and dark high places, evil principalities that the word of God warns us about, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against evil principalities and dark and high places. And so whenever you guys look at what's going on with the Haitians doing this with the pets, guys, this is just a surface level with what you're seeing with your own eyes. And I see so many people turning this into some sort of like race war or something, how we need to preserve the white race, and how, you know, these black people are just so violent and aggressive. And it's like, bro, that's so silly. And no way am I saying this just because I'm colored myself, right? Because I already know those type of people will think that's why I'm saying that. But guys, it's like, as a born again Christian, having wisdom, we see clearly this is not just a physical issue, but this is clearly a spiritual battle. This is a fight between good and evil, guys. Like, open up your eyes. God needs to take the veil off of your eyes in order for you to see this, guys. Like, if we look very plainly and clearly, we see that this is a satanic voodoo ritual. This is literally satanic. So that's the root cause of it, because I can't think of any normal person, no matter what your culture is, right? I can't think of any normal person that just goes up, especially in America, that would go up and just take up your pet and eat it. That's something like, it's so barbaric. It's so savage-like, right? And I understand every single culture has their own thing, and I totally respect that. But in the Western world of things, that is not acceptable. That is not normal in our culture. Just like there's certain things we have in our culture that may also be bad, aren't normal in other cultures. But the point that I'm trying to make is that this is a very barbaric thing, but much worse than the surface cultural level wars that people are having right now. It's much more of a spiritual issue, and that's what I kind of want to focus on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a mainstream take that I see a lot of people taking, and there's nothing wrong with it. Of course, again, I want to make it very clear there's nothing wrong with saying it is a political issue, because it absolutely is. But we must keep in mind and remember that it's a physical issue only because it was first a spiritual issue. And remember, they're both interchangeable, really, because whenever you say political things, people always want to make a distinction between that and the church. And that's just not reality, guys. Because when you look at everything that manifests in the political world, guys, it's a result of spiritual matters. That's why they happen. So as you guys can see this tweet, it says, "Can't take it anymore," quote. "Residents of Springfield, Ohio, population 60,000, beg for help after 20,000 Haitians overwhelm city, eat local wildlife and neighbors' pets. Cars, school buses being flipped on their sides in the middle of the road." Wow. This is crazy, guys. So basically, over 20,000 Haitians are literally doing this. And again, I have to say from personal experience, I know they do this because I grew up in South Florida, Miami, and Haitians have done this, guys. They have done this. Now, the reason why they did it, I believe, like whenever I was younger and before my generation, was because of the fact that they were very, very poor when they were first entering into the country, and they literally couldn't afford any food. So that's just the reason why they did it. And basically, yeah, everyone thought it was weird, even back in the day. So this isn't just some kind of new thing that people are saying it's weird. It's always been a weird thing, and Haitians have done this when they have entered into our country as immigrants, illegally at least. And so that has been a thing that has been going on for like at least 50 years, guys. This is nothing new. And this is why, again, I say it is a spiritual issue, guys, and you have to look at the origins of this as well, guys. So if you guys don't know, I want to give you guys a quick little Google history. So whenever you look at maps, right, you can search it up on Google Maps. Haiti is right beside the Dominican Republic. So when you look at the Dominican Republic and you look at Haiti, they're legit right next to each other, literally, right? And so whenever you look at Haiti, guys, and you look at the Dominican Republic, they're kind of like, I guess, rival countries or allies in a way. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship, to sum it up, right? And so Dominicans have always said that Haitians, you know, they do weird stuff like that where they eat their pets. And they've been trying to tell us this for years. And so that's actually what this young lady talks about. And also you'll see in like some of the posts right here, I can't play the video because I don't want this video to be censored, but it says people in the Dominican Republic have long been raising alarms about Haitians allegedly eating cats. There are even petitions in Chile calling for the persecution of Haitian immigrants over the consumption of pets. This video serves as a stark reminder of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have let inside our country. And I completely agree with that. And it is partially political, and I agree. I'm not trying to take the burden off of these corrupt leaders who have corruptly, you know, made our country worse for their own gain. I'm not saying that at all. Or maybe because they're puppets, or maybe they're fearful, or maybe they're blackmailed. In no way am I taking the burden off of them. All I'm trying to help you guys realize is that this is a much greater issue than just a political thing. No one person is going to save our country, guys. Only Jesus Christ can do that. Donald Trump can't save our country. Kamala Harris can't save our country. You guys can't save your country by yourself. We need Jesus Christ. Because again, this is a spiritual issue. Now, can God use people to save our country? Absolutely. But only vessels that are used by God, guys, because God has to save our country. We can't do it ourselves. I mean, honestly, this country is too far gone by ourselves. And look, this is another popular video that's surfacing, as you guys can see here. The Hill is claiming Haitians aren't eating pork. And you guys know the reason why they're saying that, guys? It's because it benefits them, and of course it does. Here's this young man. He actually, I'm not even going to, like, I mean, no shade whatsoever, but this dude looks like Carl Tuckerson, man. I don't know if it's his twin brother or cousin or something like that. But basically, he makes really great point, and I think you guys will find this very interesting. So please watch and enjoy, guys.
Hey, there's been a lot in the news about Springfield, Ohio, and whether or not cats are being eaten in Springfield, Ohio. I had a comedy show in Springfield, Ohio last night. I got to talking to some of the audience members. One of the audience members works at an animal clinic. She told me there's been a massive amount of animals going missing, and there has been reports of cats being eaten. However, David Muir of ABC News said it wasn't true because the city council manager denied it. David Muir and the city council manager are lying. The reason why: the city council manager owns multiple rental properties in Springfield that he is renting out to illegal immigrant Haitians, and he's making a lot of money on it. So it's in his best interest to cover it up. The mayor is also covering it up. It doesn't look good for the city. So the answer is yes. Pussy is getting eaten in Springfield. So if you don't want your pussy eaten, don't go to Springfield. It's swine time.
Alrighty, guys. I'm sorry. I was not expecting that ending. But you guys get the point. You guys get the idea, guys. I apologize for that because I already know someone in the comments is going to mention it. But the point is, guys, regardless of his language, the point is still remains the same, guys. Whenever we look at what's going on, guys, I mean, this is clearly a corrupt thing. This is a political issue, but it's also a spiritual issue. We know the reason why many of them do it is because it's some sort of voodoo ritual. But as well, we can also see within this particular situation, we see that the people aren't speaking up against it, like the people in positions of power, like maybe the governor or the mayor or the council manager. The reason why they're not speaking up against it is because it benefits them. He's making his money off of Haitian illegal immigrants. He makes his money off these people. So why would he try to put down his own business, right? I mean, just think about it, guys. So it is very selfish, because what these people don't realize is by temporarily gaining from these terrible, horrific scenarios and situations, is they're actually completely ruining our country to the point where your money doesn't matter anymore. Your riches and the things of this life does not matter anymore. It doesn't matter how rich you are if our whole world is doomed, right? So all these satanic people in positions of power that are taking advantage of our economy, taking advantage of the people of the United States of America and all across the world, that are taking advantage of different people around the world, different citizens, and abusing them for their own financial gain, that what they fail to realize is by doing this, yes, they will become rich temporarily. But what about the next 5 to 10 years from now, when there's no longer society to profiteer from? Then you're literally going to be in just as bad of a position as the next poor person you see on the streets. That's what they don't realize, guys. But we live in a society where people are calling good evil and evil good. And this is the reality of this world that we live in, guys, because people have the love of money. And there's nothing wrong with money, but the love of money is the issue, guys. And many people have the love of money, guys. This is why we must seek after Jesus Christ and nothing else. And there was also this young lady. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what she said too, because this became very popular. In fact, Elon Musk posted it. I personally think he's a shill, but that's a whole nother story I can get into later. But let's get into the video, and I'll tell you guys my thoughts after.
My father immigrated from Haiti to the United States in the late 60s as a teenager. And I want to talk about these recent comments about the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. First, I want to say my father and I are now estranged, but I did know him in my very, very young years. And when he immigrated, he was one person, and they weren't sending, thousands of Haitians in one area. He wasn't eating people's pets, and he didn't practice voodoo. But he did say that most of the island, the majority of the island, does practice voodoo. The reason they eat cats is for two reasons. Number one is survival. This is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. You can't just go to a food bank like you can here, or just go to McDonald's and get some free or cheap food. Unless, of course, there's a Christian missionary there. People in the United States have a really hard time imagining that type of thing, but it is true. Second, they do animal sacrifices for their religion, voodoo. They make these animal sacrifices to these gods for different reasons. You can do your own research on this. Do I think voodoo is a demonic religion? Yes, I do. That doesn't mean that you hate these people. These people need prayer. But you can't just take over all these people from another country and expect it to work. Not to mention, it doesn't fix the problems of that country. And there's more people left in Haiti that we can bring over. It's not racist to acknowledge that this is a problem. It's not racist to talk about these things that are happening. This is not just white Americans saying this is black Americans. You can look at the people in Springfield, Ohio saying that this is happening. Y'all just want to joke about Trump and say that he's crazy for saying that this is happening instead of actually checking at all to see if this is happening. You want to make jokes about these things. Well, what if it were happening to you and your community? And no, it's beyond eating their pets, even though that is bad enough.
Yep, guys, and that is the reality, guys. Like, she said it herself. Very shocked that Elon would post something like this even, but it is a very serious issue because right now we're living in such a world where both politics and religion are both intermingled. And I know a lot of your average pastor doesn't want to get involved in politics and talking about current events or conspiracy theories because that's not Christ-like. We as Christians in the church should not be getting involved in this stuff. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? The Bible talks about all the current events that we're going through today. Why aren't you talking about this? That's not Christ-like to not talk about this stuff. Now, I'm not going to dictate and tell people what and what not to talk about in their church. And I realize there's different types of ministries and there's different goals for each ministries. And God leads us with our own conviction and things of that nature. But the point that I'm trying to make is that whenever I see these pastors saying, oh, why are you talking? Because I've heard different pastors, different individuals say, oh, why do you talk about current events? Why don't you just talk about this? Why don't you just talk about that? Bro, literally the Bible talks about what I'm talking about. The Bible talks about this stuff. At the end times, there will be people like this. It warns us in the word of God. And also something I do want to tell you guys really quickly is whenever you guys look at Haiti, just so you guys can see, I'm not just making this up. Haiti is right there, literally next door to the Dominican Republic. This is Haiti and Dominican Republic. This is us, guys. So whenever you guys look at Haiti, when you look at the Dominican Republic, yes, they do a lot of witchcraft. I know that from literally personal experience. So if you guys look, I mean, you guys can search up the documentaries on YouTube. I can't even make this up. I grew up with them. I know. And so some of them did do it for survival, like she mentioned, but also many of them do it for voodoo practices. That's just the reality. It's a huge thing in their culture. And so what would happen in Miami back in the day is that back in the day, a lot of the Haitians, what they will do is they'll do animal sacrifices like in broad daylight. I'm not even joking. And so they would do blood sacrifices with the animals right in front of their homes. And you could walk through the neighborhoods, drive through the neighborhoods, and you'll see like dead cats or dogs and that like animals all throughout the neighborhood. And that's just because that's a part of their culture that's literally intertwined. And unfortunately, witchcraft is intertwined into their culture, just like other cultures. Like, for example, we see in Mexican culture, it's very popular for people to worship Santa Muerte or pray to Santa Muerte or make agreements and pacts with Santa Muerte, however you want to word it. But the point is so many of these cultures have had over the past hundreds and thousands of years a lot of witchcraft and Satanism intertwined with their culture. And it's very, very sad. It's very sad, guys, but this is why they need Jesus Christ. And whenever you guys look at the United States of America, we're supposed to set the example. I know we're not perfect, but when you look at the United States of America, we have long been known as a Christian upright nation, a nation for people to look up to, a reason that immigrants have came to our nation for so long is because they want the freedoms, the liberties we have in Christ Jesus in our free, blessed land. But what's been going on as of recently, guys, very, very unfortunately, it's not looking too good, guys. And that's the honest reality, guys. And I don't want us to lead too astray from God. And it already seems like our nation is headed towards that direction, guys. So the best thing I can give you guys, the best advice I can say is to pray for our nation and to pray for these people to come to Jesus Christ. Because before it becomes a political issue, it is always a spiritual issue. So I want you guys to remember that, guys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions below. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, share it with someone that you believe this could be edifying with. And I hope that you guys have a best day. God bless you guys.